Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here on your Thursday afternoon. Jordan Simbright's my name, and well, it's pretty clear, I would hope, what my role is today. I'm here to guide you through the journey of buying or selling, depending on who I speak to right now. But of course, we do appreciate you joining us today here in the EVES auction room. Every good frontman needs a good band, and well, my band, it is these wonderful names and faces you see behind me there. Robin, she's up here on the stage beside me, doing all the technology, making the property look good, and also at the same time making me look good as well as I make your properties stand out. Now, of course, these other names, Mark, Trevor, Louise, well, they are what I call and refer to as my expert team of negotiators. All managers within the company here, where if your bidding doesn't quite get me to a level where I'm permitted to sell the property, I might pause the auction and give you an opportunity to talk to one of these lovely people, see if we can help you get across the line today. We'll get to the conduct in just a moment, but before we do, just remind you do bid today on a cash unconditional basis, where your due diligence has been completed and the only formalities that remain are signing the contract and paying your 10% deposit, and of course winning the auction for the property you came to buy. Well, to the conduct, where you have received the REA Buyers and Sellers Guide, so all that's left is to just reiterate what's on the front page, all of our auction documentation. You will have been given a draft format version of that, all finalised, and that's what you'll be signing today if you are our lucky new purchasers. I won't go over it in full, I'll just point out a couple of them. The big one that I like to touch on is vendor bidding. Now, this is purely a way of our sellers saying to you, the buyers, through me, the auctioneer, I really appreciate your bidding, but at this level, we're not for sale, happy to hold on to the home. If you want to buy it, your numbers, they need to be above my vendor bids. If I place vendor bids, they will always be at a level well below reserve, and purely, as I say, for the purpose of pointing you in the right direction. The other one I touched on already, when you win, you need to pay your deposit, sign the contract, and then it is all yours. And of course, we do have some registered phone bidders today. I'll endeavour to point out at each auction when we do have registered phone interest. They've all been signed off with the appropriate paperwork, and I've cited all of that as well. Any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to let me know. Raising of the hand can be a bit dangerous in the auction game if you're not here to bid and buy, but if you do have questions, let it be known. Otherwise, wish you all the very best of luck today for our wonderful lineup of properties. We'd also like to acknowledge everybody watching on the live stream. If you see me glance up to the roof, I'm just acknowledging all of our viewers on the live stream there. None of you are on the camera today, so don't stress too much about that. All eyes on the screen and me. To our wonderful lineup of properties then. 89 Grange Road in Otamoto. Well, Sarah Dyson, she has been marketing this wonderful property here, and it's an outstanding character family home, and it's come to the market for the first time in 20 years. Now, it is time for a new family to make their own memories here now. Legally described, firstly, as an estate in fee simple as to an undivided 2/3 share in 1,029 square metres, more or less. And secondly, an estate in leasehold. Now, both the first and second estates are comprised and described under the record of title SA 37B Folio 831 of the South Auckland Land Registry. Now, the settlement date, well, that's elected for 100 days from the date of sale or other such date as mutually agreed upon, so there is a bit of flexibility there if we need it. And further terms of sale page refers to clause 23.0. The vendor was warranted to have a double-check valve for the swimming pool installed in a tradesman-like manner as per the Tauranga City Council requirements at the vendor's cost prior to and as a condition of settlement. Now, the first level of this home, it consists and it offers a large open plan kitchen dining room, and it's complete with a window seat that just bathes in the morning sun. Warm and inviting interior colours and furnishings, matai timber floors, well, they pair beautifully with the fresh white walls for that added modern touch. The bonus of a separate cottage for multi-uses could be great for guests, work from home, rent, Airbnb. There's many options. We've got a rental appraisal here, $850 to $950. So that's the home and the cottage on that. So potentially a good little return there if you're looking at renting it out. Oodles of space, absolutely oodles of it. You've got 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a property like this, location is tip top. You've got the Buretta shops, supermarkets, local golf course, plenty more, so close. It really is time just to move in and start making some new family memories. Now, Sarah was telling me the first open home saw 25 groups through the open home. My math says that's roughly 100 people through the first open home. So understandably, a property of such high calibre, well, I know it is in high demand. Now what we look for here is the cash buyers. Give you the first opportunity. If you're a cash buyer, let it be known, because I look for you now. Call it around the room, give you an opportunity. If you're here to buy, let me know. Otherwise we deal with some conditional interest. I know there's very strong conditional interest here. We're just looking over some paperwork. If you're a cash buyer, this is the opportunity you've waited for. Otherwise we deal with that conditional. Right, not on the floor today then. Looks like we're all silent on this one, Sarah, but as I say, there's some stuff going on in the background there. I'm sure it won't be long before we see a sold sticker. Wish you the best on this one. Close the auction for now. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue on then in a friendly and hopefully financial manner. Now, our next property here, it really is a beautiful offering. 21 Pennantia Court, Rachel Martin, Fran Harmon, they've been marketing this property as it could only be described as a pleasure turning up to viewings and open homes at a property of this calibre. Architecturally designed by John McAlpine from the Thorn Group, so much thought has gone into the planning and creation of this luxury home. Overlooking a picturesque Palm Springs waterways with sunset vistas to the Papamoa Hills. A much admired home from conception to completion. This is luxury living. Legally described, it is a freehold estate, being 800 square metres more or less. Record of title being 858094. The settlement date is down as Thursday the 11th of May 2023, or other such date as mutually agreed upon. There is an extensive list of chattels, but also some excluded chattels to make sure you are aware of. And I'll also just refer to 23.0 of the further terms of sale, just advising you that the vendor is a licensed real estate agent. Now the property. It is an entertainer's dream. Impressive covered, fully equipped outdoor kitchen with weatherproof cabinetry, blinds and louvers, plus you have that wood fire. There is not a single Sunday drinks or midweek dinner party that happens here that is not talked about for weeks and weeks into the future. It is a self-contained guest wing offering as well. That could be extra income stream for you, or perhaps a private oasis for the extended family, or for family who have extended because they just don't want to leave the luxury they have been visiting. Now, I cannot stress enough, ladies and gentlemen, it is luxury living at its finest. I almost forgot to mention, you can see from the photo here, you've got the pool, that heated saltwater swimming pool, the in-ground irrigation system, and of course the privacy on offer at this wonderful property. Well, it is the ultimate of entertainers' dream homes. Now, we do have registered phone interest on this one, folks, and of course you bid and buy on the conditions of the contract, unless of course you have any variations signed prior. But folks, I call for an opening bid, opening offer at this time. All silent, and I understand a home like this, it is very overwhelming because it is such fine quality. Give you a second, perhaps you tell me where you'd like to start. Registered phone interest, give it a second, make sure we get the message across. But folks, I look for an opening bid. If we get nothing, we close the auction, we deal with conditional interest. So if you're a cash buyer, this is your time. We'll call it 3 times. If we get nothing, I'll happily close it. I know we've got some strong conditional interest on this property.
Jordan, 2.3.
2.3 at the back of the room. Absolutely welcome you and appreciate that at the back there at 2,300,000. At 2.3 then we have, and welcome along, but nice to see you here, at 2.30000. Once I call it at the back of the room there, happy to travel in hundreds from here, but I call it once at the back.
No. 2.4.
2.4 on the phone then, and welcome in. Really appreciate you being here with us on the phone with Rachel. At 2.4, the retort would be 2.5 at the back of the room, I'd suggest. Give them a second to pass that along, but at 2.4 I hold it on the phone at the moment. I call it once then at 2.4. Twice.
2.5.
2.5 at the back. You don't have to wait for me to count it down, man, but I appreciate it there. At 2.5 I've got it. At 2.5 I call it once now, 2.5 back of the room. Twice. 2.5. Happy to travel in hundreds at this level. Can we take them in for a 2.6?
2.6.
2.6. Appreciate you working with me on the phone there, buyer. At 2.6 million now. $2,600,000 and search for another 100 on top.
50. 2650.
Really would like to go the 100 if we can make the 100 work. Give you a second just to communicate that. Looking for 100 at this level. At 2.6 I hold it on the phone. Once.
Yeah, 2.7.
Thanks very much. Really appreciate you working with me. 2.7 got it in the back of the room there now. At 2.7 I call it for the first time. Twice now I call it at 2.7. Third opportunity then at 2,700,000.
2,750.
2,750. You've worked with me previously. I'll allow the 50 there. Happy to travel in 50s at this level there. So at 2,750 on the phone, and man, it would be rude of me not to offer the same courtesy back this direction. So at 2,750, happy to take 2.8 if you like.
Yeah.
Thanks very much, Scott, on behalf. At 2.8 on the nod. At 2.8 now, hold it. You're out the front, both figuratively and literally in front of me there at 2.8. I call it for the first time now at 2.8.
Do you want to go for 50?
Against you on the phone.
2,850.
2,850. Thanks very much, Rachel, on the phone there with your buyer at 2,850. Then I have it for the first time on the phone at $2,850,000. Seek another 50 on top there. North to south, not east to west. Doesn't win auctions going east to west. Looking for a 50 at this level, Scott. See what you can do there. At 2,850 on the phone. At 2,850, do we see 2.9 in the room? I call it first, second. Third opportunity then at $2,850,000. Look, absolutely working for our vendors. If you can't match me on the 50, I'll take the 25. I certainly wouldn't step over it in the street. So I'll take the 25 there at 2,875 there. At 2,875, offer you the same courtesy on the phone, but perhaps something stronger might put you back in front. At 2,875 against you on the phone with the buyers in the room. At 2,875,000, folks, understand a property of this calibre, well, we're heading in the right direction. At 2,875, I see it at the back of the room. Call it once. Twice. 2 nines the next step.
Yeah, if you're the top of that.
Third opportunity.
Potentially not.
At 2,875,000 at the back of the room, I call it a final opportunity then.
2.9.
2.9, just in time. At 2,875, and we go 2.9 on the phone there, at 2,900,000 against you now in the room. Hold it on the phone there. Wonderful buying here in Papamoa, and a property of this calibre. Imagine yourself lazing in the pool there, heated pool, summer days, champagne, doesn't get much better. At 2.9, I hold it on the phone there, I call it the first time. Treat you with a 25 if you go at that level, but at 2.9, hold it on the phone.
50.
Another 50 on top there at 2.9 and 50. Great play, man, out the back there. And Scott working on behalf there at 2.9 and 50. Then I call it in the room at 2.9 and 50 against you on the phone. At 2.9 and 50 up the back there. Once. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a first, now a second call. At 2.950 000, I look for a further rise to take the 25, but perhaps potentially match the 50. Pop yourself in front. For the third call, I call it now 2.950.
Yeah, 2.975.
2.975 over here on the phone, then at 2.9 and 75. At 2.9 and 75, you don't have to wait for me to call it every time, folks. Run a lot smoother if you just come straight back in. But at 2.9 and 75, happy to make it work all day long. I've got dinner at 6:30, so potentially a few hours left. At 2.9 and 75, hold it over here, and I call it now once against the bidder in the room. Absolutely, make as many phone calls as you need. But I hold it twice at 2.9 and 75. A wonderful home, nice large home. You could name it, this property probably has it. It is that sort of luxury that we are dealing with here, ladies and gentlemen. 21 Pennantia Court, it really is something special.
No.
At 2.9 and 75, I hold it over here, and I put
3 million.
3 million up the back there at 3 million. Now we have it at $3 million. I call it now once at the back of the room, 3 million. Another 25 might do the job here. Pop yourself back in front. At 3 million, my instructions at this level say that if we don't get a further bid, I pause the auction, have a negotiation, a conversation with our highest bidder. So at 3 million, it's at the back of the room now. I call it the first, second opportunity. Against the phone bidder here. Looks like it's a two-horse race at this level, folks, but at 3 million for the third time at the back of the room there. If we see nothing further, I pause and let you have a conversation. For the final opportunity there. Okay, well, I'm not going to delay any further, folks. My instructions say we pause at this level, fire at the back of the room there, Trevor, see if we can have a conversation. We'll come back to the auction very shortly. Thank you for pausing the auction. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue on with lot number 3 of our offerings today. Number 2, Abbott Road. Well, Steve Cameron, Steve and Bridget, they've been marketing this property. Now, I wasn't personally able to go and visit the property. So I said, Steve, give me 3 good reasons a person might buy this property. And in typical overachieving fashion, Steve laughed at me first of all. And he said, only 3, Jordan. I'll give you 7. But first we go to the legals, of course. Freehold estate being 2,478 square metres, more or less. Record of title is SA 34B, folio 910. Now we have 20 working days to get your affairs in order, because that is your move-in, your settlement date there. But of course a little bit of flexibility should you need it. The further terms of sale page refers to 23.0, the Waikino Mines clause that we put into all of our Waikino property contracts there, just advising you where to get further information. 24.0, clause 9.3 of the general terms and conditions vary to the extent that the vendor will not be in occupation of the property, makes no warranty to the channels, plant systems or devices. 25.0, the property being sold on an as is, where is basis. Excuse me. 26.0, a limited liability clause. You may be familiar with those. And 27.0, the purchaser acknowledges the water supply to the dwelling is not connected, and the purchaser will be responsible for reconnecting at their cost. Now, the property. 7 reasons Steve gave me. Number 1. Everyone loves a bargain, he says. Older homes of this era, well, they can be snapped up because of the need for just a little TLC. Now, do not get me wrong. The home, it has a heart. It just needs a little defib to get it back on track. Number 2, good old Kiwi DIY. Now, if you are handy with the tools, perhaps you love a good project, this one could be for you. Number 3, you're a visionary. and you can see everything that this character home has to offer. Well, for a book should never be judged by its cover. Number 4, well, I'm talking to the historians in the room here, because perhaps you're a history buff. We're loving old woodwork, stained glass windows, but it comes without effort. And well, those people, they may be interested too. On the contrary, though, maybe you love restoring things and bringing a bit of modernisation to a property, bringing them into the 21st century ways, if you will. And maybe, of course, number 6, you are a John Lennon fan. Because imagine all the people that will be envious of your dream property on 2,000 or so square metres of land. And it could be perhaps their favourite place to hang out for evening drinks, dinner parties, and well, I cannot imagine a better place to do it. Plenty of land to roam and play in your new dream home. And of course, number 7, lastly but certainly not least, if you are looking for a true fixer-upper with plenty of potential, but of course working within a budget, maybe, just maybe, this one could be your good chance to get your foot in the door and really start achieving those dreams. Folks, in your hands now, registered phone interest on this one here. Of course, you've been by again on the conditions of the contract, unless of course you have a variation signed prior, but in your hands. Potentially start somewhere around mid-2s, 250 start.
Yeah, okay.
250, welcome on in, sir. Nice to see you here at 250,000 there. Look, perhaps a 20 rise on top at 250. Do we see 270 in the room? 270 over here, welcome along to you too at 270, and back to you for 290 would be my next call then at 270 at the back. Once at 270 over here. 290 on the phone then, welcome along to you too. Hope you're nice, sitting at home, comfy, watching online. At 290, I hold it with you on the phone there. At 290 against you here, sir, and with you, ma'am, at 290 on the phone. 310 is where we go potentially. Okay, on the raise we go at 310, we are over here at 310, and perhaps 330 would be the next move. Buyer over here holds the keys at this stage. At 310, I call it now, first time. Twice.
320.
320, sorry. 320 up the front there. Look, I'll shorten the stride just a touch at 320, then move in 10s if you like. Potentially see where we can go from there at 320. Hold it with you. Offer the same courtesy back though if you'd like, ma'am. Another 10 on top, perhaps. Can we see on the knob? At 320, hold it up the middle there. Give you a second. But at 320 up the front. Talking to this side of the room all day, but don't let me exclude you guys, you lovely people over here. At 320 though, I hold it out the middle. Once, call it now. Second opportunity.
330.
330 there, knew it was coming, I knew it was coming there. At 330 up the back there, at 330, 000 there, and I call it one time at 330. Twice. Third opportunity then at 330,000. I'll look for a further rise on top. Happy to work at a 10 for you there, sir, at 330. It's with the lady over to my left. You're right. I call it once, twice. Third and final opportunity at 330. Do we go 340, sir? Shaking the head the wrong way. No one's ever bought a property by doing this. At 330, I open it over here once, twice, third and final, a 5. No, he says no. Well, at 330,000 then, I hold it over here. I got it first, second, third. Would it help if I told you to play for keeps today? We are on the market. We sell away. If I receive no further bids, I call it the final time. It's with you over here, ma'am. I call it once, twice. Take a single if it's there. Third and final opportunity then, at $330,000. It goes. Have I seen your best, sir? It goes, it goes. Sold over here. Congratulations to our new purchasers over this side of the room. Appreciate the bidding from our underbidders. Wish you the best of luck for your future endeavours. We'll be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we still wait for a result on 21 Pennantia Court. So for now, we go to this wonderful offering here at 74 Adler Drive. Sarah Dighton, well, you saw her up here, first up off the ramp there, and she's back again doing some diligent work as always, bringing you this wonderful section. Now it is nestled down a private right-of-way in the prestigious Three Creeks Estate subdivision out there in Okawiti. Now it sits uniquely and privately, nice little site there, and it is just waiting for a new home to be built. Now, to the legal description, it is a freehold estate, being 907 square metres, more or less. It is bare land, of course. The record of title, 898003. Now your settlement date is down for the 14th of April or other such date as mutually agreed upon between all parties there. And well, this section, the section itself, it is the largest section currently on the market out there at Three Creeks Estate, and it has 180-degree north-facing aspect, and it's elevated for the views of the rolling hills right there. The geotech and building plans, well, they are available here should you wish to peruse them, and the services to the section will include the ultra-fast fibre internet, and of course the water as well. Now your new dream home, what could you create on a wonderful section of this size, 907 square metres, folks, I remind you. Of course, whatever your dream home looks like on this section, you are only so close to everything. It is a short drive to the Pies Park Shopping Centre, all the amenities at the Tauranga crossing. We have highly motivated vendors who want this sold. So I ask, who wants to buy it? What would you like to pay for it, folks? In your hands now, look for a start here at 74 Adler Drive. No point looking at the ground, there's no spare change. If you're here to buy, let it be known. Call for a start. If we have no cash here, we close it. We deal with conditional interest. In your hands. Okay, well, Sarah, it looks pretty clear, no cash today in the auction room, but our instructions, they are very motivated vendors and they would like to price the property. Yes? Okay, so instructions today, we price the property, close the auction, and $390,000, folks. That is what you need to pay. If you'd like to buy this prime piece of terra firma, $390,000 and a phone call to Sarah might be all it takes. Wish you the best of luck there, Sarah. Good luck to our sellers as well. And if you're interested, give Sarah a call. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we go back now to the Papamoa region, being Papamoa Beach at 122 Santa Monica Drive. And this property here, Miranda Horan, she's been marketing this wonderful property, and it's located just minutes from some of the best shopping, dining and entertainment options in the area. It's a home that offers the perfect blend of convenience and tranquility. The legal description, you'll find that under the record of title SA 57D folio 24. It's a freehold estate containing 630 square metres, more or less. Now your settlement date, well that's down as 10 working days after notification of the probate being granted, and various clauses that I will point out to you from the further terms of sale page being 23.0, I touched on earlier a limited liability clause, 24.0 clause 8.1 of the general terms of sale, well they do not apply here and the vendor shall not be required to point out the boundaries. 25.0 general terms of sale clauses 9.1, 9.3 and 9.35 and 9.36 will be hereby deleted as well. Your property 27.0, the purchaser acknowledges that you buy the chattels, fixtures, fittings based on your own due diligence, folks. And a settlement can't occur, of course, until that probate has been granted by the High Court, and the settlement shall take place 10 working days after the vendor's solicitor has notified the purchaser's solicitor of that probate being granted. Okay, now the home. It's got a strong brick and tile bones, and sure, the home, well, you can freshen it up a little, you know, but it's full of potential. Whether you're looking for a spacious family home or a peaceful retreat to call your own, this property is sure to impress. private, north-facing yard and a separate living option. It offers everything for comfortable and convenient living. You've got a private indoor-outdoor flow feel to it, and that sunroom there, well, for all weather enjoyment. It is all here, folks, at this wonderful property. Now, if you are looking for a new home in an ideal location, look absolutely no further than this incredible property. It is just steps away from the Papamoa Plaza, Fashion Island, and well, if you're looking to scratch that shopping itch, you could spend quite a few dollars in that area. And of course, you're not far away from all the other conveniences that we have become accustomed to in our modern day lifestyles. And this, well, it offers you all of that and more. So folks, in your hands now, look for a new buyer for 122 Santa Monica Drive. I know we've got conditional interest on this one, so we look now for a cash buyer. This is your opportunity to get ahead of that competition. Give you a second around the room, but if you're here to buy, don't be shy. Okay, Miranda, well, it doesn't look like we've got the cash offers here in the room, but I know we've got some conditional interest in this one. I'm sure it won't be too long. Any interest, we'll close the auction. Give Miranda a call. She'll be only too happy to help. Wish you the best of luck there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, lot number 6 today is a Welcome Bay offering 8 Farrow Way. Isaac Jacobs, he's been diligently marketing this property here. And I was talking to Isaac earlier, and I said to him, anything planned for the weekend? He says, you know what, I'm going to have such a good weekend. I said, why is that? He said, because I get to go to all my open homes. That's the sort of agent you get when you deal with Isaac Jacobs. Now, if hearing the words privacy and good location piques your interest, well, listen up. Because this property, it is nestled down a private driveway, close to arterial routes for the ultimate in convenience. This home is a great first or next home, perhaps an investment. Up to you to decide how you use it, folks, but you'll find that legal description under the record of title 734744. It is of course, an estate in fee simple, containing 593 square metres more or less. And secondly, an estate in fee simple is for 1/8 share in 1820 square metres more or less. Now the chattels, just note the oven is as it is where it is, and there are some excluded chattels being the shelves in the lounge and the master bedroom. Now your settlement date, that's your move-in date, folks. That is 20 working days from the date of sale, the date of the agreement, or a little bit of flexibility though, I believe. So if you need to have that conversation, you bid and buy on those terms there. Now, offering a large outdoor entertaining area in the form of that beautiful dark stained deck. It could be great for barbecues with your mates or an afternoon tipple in the sun with your better half. A good first home opportunity. It is fully fenced with generous bedrooms. Makes it ideal for planning a family or safe and ready now for space for the new arrival, be it human or more of the furry barking type. Up to you, folks. Move in and enjoy and make it your own. Perhaps a few finishing touches to really add a personalised touch. Extensive off-street parking, plus you've got that carport there. It's a great opportunity to get into your first home, your next home, add to your rental portfolio. The return says somewhere between $620, $650 per week. By my accounts, it would be a great buy. Where do we go? Who starts us away there? Look for a start. Buyers speak now. 8 Farrow Way. Not going to start this one. Up to you. You tell me where you want to go. If you want to go to 8 Farrow Way and Welcome Bay, you need to let me know now if you're our cash buyer, because I'm looking around the room. If we see nothing, we close the auction and pass it in for some conditional interest phone calls. Final opportunity, folks. If you're here to buy, let me know. Okay, don't have the cash in the room on this one, Isaac. Wish you the best of luck there. A little bit of work to do, but won't be long, I'm sure. A great first home opportunity. Wish you the best of luck. Thank you. We'll be back shortly, folks, with the result from Pennantia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, well, we'll go back now to the property at 21 Pennantia Court. In Papamoa, we had callers, we had a conversation, a little negotiation. We've had an increase in bidding from our bidder who was out the front at the beginning there to 3.1 million. Confirm for me on the nod up the back there, please, at 3.1. And my instructions from our seller, they say on the market, a new owner we will have today. So at 3,100,000, I will call it 3 times and I will sell it. If we get no further bidding, folks, at 3.1, I call it first. Second opportunity at 3.1. Now is the opportunity for your buyer on the phone there, Rachel.
3,125.
3,125 at 3.125, a little quarter on top, pops you back in the lead there. At 3,125 then, against you in the room there, and we hold it on the phone. Happy to take a 25, and remember folks, we play for keeps today at 3,125 on the phone. Have we seen your best at the back of the room there? Seen your best at the back of the room, a cheeky one? No, she says no, so I call it 3 times. First, second, it's with the buyer on the phone. Third and final opportunity. It goes. Sold. Congratulations. I really do appreciate everybody being here today. Of course, our viewers on the live stream. We'll see you back next Thursday for another wonderful lineup of properties. Thank you very much, everybody.